All right, welcome back to another episode of myself, Luke. So I hope you had a fantastic day, a fantastic week. It is the end of another week, and what is Bitcoin up to today? It is Friday the 9th of August. So let's just jump straight into it. So today with the news, so I don't know, you probably saw this, Putin legalizes crypto mining, ushering in a new era for Russia. So again, Putin back into crypto, Russia back into crypto. I think it was just a few years ago, all the mining farms left Russia to go to Mongolia. I read a report a few years ago. Don't quote me on that. You'll have to let me know in the comments. But for sure, big players again jumping into the crypto space. So I thought that was quite interesting. You can read this yourself. Just go over to the news and you can read everything about Putin legalizing this. But it's just another big player, another huge country jumping into Bitcoin. So let me just change this from French to English. So the fear and greed index today, we're back into, I think, neutral. Let me just see, 56. Yeah. So a few days ago we were in fear, and now we're very, very close going back into the greed again. That's because Bitcoin right now, we had that dump to the downside, people are panicking, we've had that consolidation, and we've come straight back up into that $62,000, almost $63,000 range, and we've had a bit of a pullback today. So where are we going in the short term? If you had been following me, my videos, I've spoken about a few technicals, especially with the CME gap that I like to use. So the CME gap is one of the indicators that I really, really like to use. The Bollinger Bands, as you know, and the RSI divergence. Those are the three that I tend to look at. It just works for me. If you're trading, you just got to find out what works best for you. So the CME gaps, I really like CME gaps because 9 times out of 10, like I've been saying on my channel, they get filled up. So I know some of you, even for myself, I trade based on CME gaps, and I jumped into a trade all the way back down here. Let me just, I don't remember the price. I'll have to check it out where I jumped into. I think it was like 54,000. I didn't time the bottom because the bottom was all the way down here at 49k, but I jumped in around this area just here. So I'm currently up on a 10x leverage position. 100%, which is fantastic. I'm using Bitflex, so if you want to use my Bitflex link in the description below, you can go and sign up. You can go long, you can go short. Just be careful if you're using leverage, and don't forget to set your stop losses so you don't get wrecked, and don't use all your trading portfolio. Just use a percentage, because if you lose just a small percent, it's not a big deal. You don't want to lose absolutely everything and get wrecked so that you can't jump into, you don't basically have dry powder on the side to jump into more trades. So it's going to be a quick one today. It is the end of the week, so over the weekend, normally things don't happen, pumps and dumps over the weekend. Having said that, of course, we had that downside over the weekend where we did collapse quite quickly, forming this CME gap. We have two bearish CME gaps here that we filled up, and then this one was the bullish CME gap, which was good for me to get a nice trade in. So I'm currently in my trade with a small portion of my portfolio, and I'm going to let this thing ride up. We didn't technically completely close the CME gap all the way up here at 62,900. I mean, we were just a few $100 off, but it's pretty much filled up. If you're going to be really, really picky, we haven't completely filled up that CME gap just yet. So again, 18-90% of the time we filled these up. So what we could see is some consolidation over Saturday and Sunday, and then we pump up and we completely fill up the CME gap going into next week. Let's just go down to the 4-hour time frame, and you can clearly see, maybe if we just go to the 1 hour, I might be wrong, but I don't think, no, we didn't fill it up completely. Now I'm being very picky, but I like to see a CME gap of 100% closed. So for me right now, I like to look at the 4 hour as well. I mean, if you want to go to the lower time frames, if you're day trading, then I get that. You want to go to those 15-minute, 10-minute time frames. But for me, as you know, I prefer swing long positions, so I try to time the bottoms as best as possible. You're never going to time it bang on, and I'm going to let this, because I believe this could be the local bottom. We have had a 30% pullback And normally in a bull run, we have 25-30% max for pullbacks. So my prediction is we're not going to go lower now. That was the pullback. I could be completely wrong. We could go lower. I'm not saying we're out of the woods yet, because we've still got to smash through some targets, which I'm going to talk about in just a second. So the good thing is right now on the 4 hourly, we are getting that bounce off that 59,800, that $60,000 level that I spoke about yesterday. We need to get a bounce, or this thing could just be a dead cat bounce. We could roll straight back over and come down back down to these lower prices of 52,000 US dollars. So it's vital right now, hopefully for the rest of Friday, that we get this bounce and we set ourselves up nicely ready for next week. So if over the weekend, if things are boring over the weekend, then I expect next week that we completely close this up, and it would be pivotal for us to get past that $64,000 level. We get that bounce off that 60k level, we come up to the 64, and we start making our way up to that $67,000 level. So things can move so fast. I mean, at the beginning of the week, it looked terrible. We were down at 49k, and I think it was yesterday or today, it was yesterday, we came all the way back up 63,000 US dollars. So we did rise by 28%, so $13,700 from the low, which was on Monday, all the way to Thursday. So almost 14k in 4 days. So it just shows how fast things can move in crypto. So everybody was in despair here. That was my opportunity to be greedy and to jump into a swing long position. So for me, let's see if we get that nice bounce off that 60k level. We have got some clear support here, around here back in July, also right across back to last May, through April, and all the way back obviously in February of this year, sorry, not last year. So this is all this year, this zone, and as you know, we have been consolidating now in this zone for 170 days, I think. If we go from here to here, it is 163 bars, 163 days where we've just been going from left to right, just backwards and forwards. It is what it is. It's consolidation. The longer this goes on, then we're going to expect a massive breakout. So could this be the bottom? Are we going to get that V shape? It looks like it at the moment. So if you're a bear right now, beware. You could get absolutely wrecked. For the bulls out there, it's looking quite promising if we bounce off that clear support at 60k, and then let's see what happens next week. It'd be fantastic if next week we get that bounce, that proper bounce, especially on the daily. I mean, on the 4 hour, it looks like we are getting that bounce here. If this continues, that'd be fantastic. And then if we do come up to that 67k towards middle or to the end of next week, then it sets us up really nicely for the rest of summer, going into September. So I'm just keeping my eye on it. I'm hoping that we pump up a lot more, because I will probably, September's usually a really bad month, I'll probably start doing like a trailing stop loss, so I can take profits off the table, because September, usually we do have pullbacks. September's not great if you look at the Bitcoin monthly return. So after that, October, all the way to the end of the year, usually we have those giant moves to the upside, where I'm predicting, but sooner rather than later, that 6-figure Bitcoin towards the end of this year. So let me know what you think. If you think we're going to continue to go up, or if you think this is just a dead cat bounce. Let me know if you think we're going to go a lot lower than 43k, or wherever you think Bitcoin's going. Let me know. So if you are new to the channel, please go ahead, subscribe, hit that bell notification so you can keep up to date with my videos, that like button, that dislike button, that's all good for the algorithm. Remember, you've got my Bitflex, Bybit links in the description below, so go and sign up today. You can start trading on there. Just be careful with leverage, don't get wrecked, and you can also find altcoins on those two exchanges as well. So that's it for this week. Have a great weekend, and I will see you next time with more videos. Bye-bye.